Fateh is a subject that I've not just directed, I've lived this. I remember I've been doing action from past 22 years, worked with every single action director in this country, and I felt that there's something which I wanted to design my way. I have to go behind the camera to make that happen. So here I am, an actor who always wanted to become a director, and Fateh is the beginning.
Can you tell us a little more about the sequence you mentioned about?
I spoke to my son, and they are the most well-informed generation that we have. And I told him, why do you want to watch Fateh? He said, Dad, I want to see an action which is never seen on Indian screen. I said, like what? Dad, an action with no cuts. So Ayan, my son, gave me this idea. I think हर जिंदगी में हर एक इंसान अपनी लाइफ में फतेह पाना चाहता है. I hope कि इस फतेह की फतेह भी जरूर हो.
Sonu Sood, thank you so much for giving us the time today to speak to Masala. Thank you. So we are speaking to you ahead of your release, Fateh. First things first, why the plunge to direction? Why direct this film? What motivated you? What interested you?
Fateh is a subject that I've not just directed, I've lived this. I always wanted to make a film that is not just something that people can relate to, but an action emotion that the Indian audience want to watch today. I remember I've been doing action from past 22 years, worked with every single action director in this country, and I felt that there's something which I wanted to design my way, which every in Indian will feel that, oh, this is something we are really proud of. I wanted a story behind the action. I wanted a narrative which is of a common man, people who a subject that people can relate to. So I thought, I have to go behind the camera to make that happen. So here I am, an actor who always wanted to become a director, and Fateh is the beginning.
Absolutely. So you mentioned about action there. Even in the teaser, it is evident that not only is the action slick and there is graphic violence, but it's also things we've not seen before.
Yeah.
So first of all, I was just curious now if the motive behind the action is something like this, where it's perhaps a cyber fraud, a conspiracy on this scale, as opposed to, say, a personal vengeance, someone seeking vengeance. How does that change how you approach the action, how you film it, how you design it?
So the word is cyber. Cyber frauds, this deepfakes, this instant loan apps. A common man was suffering and been cheated every single day. So this is something we need to address. But again, it's packed in an action vertical which is never seen on Indian screen. When I designed that action and I spoke to Lee Whitaker, who's done action for Captain Marvel or Fast and Furious and Jurassic Park, I told him that I want to make an action sequence which is a reference point for many more films to come. And there was an action sequence which is 3.5 minutes of no cut, a single shot action sequence, and which took 2.5 months of prep and with a lot of fighters flown from Mexico and South Africa to make that happen. So yes, it was a big gamble, but when we saw the final cut, I think not only me being a director of the film Fateh, but I think every Indian will feel proud. And if they want to show some people that how the action has to be done. So I think this is the way it has to be done.
Can you tell us a little more about the sequence you mentioned about?
I spoke to my son, and they are the most well-informed generation that we have. And I told him, why do you want to watch Fateh? He said, Dad, I want to see an action which is never seen on Indian screen. I said, like what? Dad, an action with no cuts. So Ayan, my son, gave me this idea. So I started writing the action sequence. So I think writing an action sequence is something that I learned during Fateh also. All these years we've been doing action, fighting with 50 people, 20 people, 30 people, jumping from one corner to other. But how you get people involved in the action sequence? And he told me there shouldn't be any cut in that. So that's the seed that he sowed in me. And I said, let me design the action. So I started putting those notes and small ingredients that how it has to be done. And then I got Lee Whitaker, who's the best action director in the world. And he said, let's make it happen. And with 2.5 months of prep and the fantabulous team that we had, we could finally manage it.
Absolutely. one particular sequence, one shot that stands out in the teaser is the one where a drill is used on someone's mouth. Yeah, talk to us a little bit about that, sir.
Yeah, that was always there when he started writing the film. So something that is not seen on Indian screen, and that leaves an impact impression that okay, this is something uh, people will always remember. But that's just a small teaser of what you have seen. Get ready for the trailer when it comes on 23rd. Something which will redefine how the action has to be done.
Absolutely. Also, looking at the title drop in the teaser, am I right in believing there is an element of fate and destiny interwoven with the action?
Yeah. Um, Everyone runs behind their fate, or fate is something that maneuvers how your life goes. But yes, Fateh is also about the fate of a common man, how they suffer because of the cyber frauds, how people commit suicide because of this instant loan apps, and how the single man, a common man who's got a superhero in himself, comes out for the people, for the nation, and drives the whole story. So yeah, it's something which is very relatable, and yes, it's something related to fate.
So, fate of the common man and how a common man, how वो कैसे फतेह करता है.
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक हर जिंदगी में हर एक इंसान अपनी लाइफ में फतेह पाना चाहता है, तो आई थिंक आई होप कि इस फतेह की फतेह भी जरूर हो.
Absolutely, sir. So, sir, we have limited time, but as much as I want to talk to you about the film, the one thing I always want to talk to you about is the incredible journey you've had over the last few years, where, if I can say, very few actors can get to leave any legacy at all. Even if an actor can leave behind a legacy of great work, that in itself is a huge achievement. But you will leave behind a legacy of something where you transcended your work entirely, the legacy of your humanitarian efforts. So, first of all, sir, now that must have changed you in very profound ways as an individual. How has that changed you as an artist, as a filmmaker, as an actor?
You know, people always say that actor's life is light, camera, action. But when there are no lights, no camera, only action, I think Almighty is the director, and He will direct you the way you want to do it. I'm glad that I got to do what I did. Otherwise, you're always running behind those producers, directors, trying to get into those banners or prove people how good or bad we are. But then you come across the life of a common man where they see you as a hope, and you put an effort and everything changes. So I think that's much more bigger than a 2000 crore box office number or whatever. So I think I feel blessed, and I thank God every single day that I got introduced to my inner soul. Else, we were clueless. And most of the people in today's world are clueless. They don't know what they're running behind, which is not going to stay in the minds of people forever. So I feel happy um, being a common man with the common man, and that one smile and one blessing that you get when you come across these people makes your life very, very special. And I'm glad that I'm able to do it. It's been 4.5 years when the journey started, and still I meet people every single day wherever I go, especially on the Sundays when they come at my place. And I wish and I pray to God that this continues forever till my last breath.
It's, first of all, is it fair to say that because you've touched the lives of so many common people, is there some connection to that where you wrote, I mean, where you directed a film about a common man who transcends his circumstances?
So the story started from that point where a lot of people were trying to reach out to me, and a lot of fraudsters, the cyber criminals, who are chasing on social media about a needy people is very sensitive and prone to get cheated because they go in that space. So they are soft victims, and this is what happened. And I registered close to 740, 50 FIRs across the country. We caught many people doing that, and I realized that every single individual is somewhere prone to getting cheated through this cyber frauds. So I wanted to tell the story. The film is based on real events. Instant loan apps, people committing suicides. I've come across those cases. So I wanted to tell the word, but again, I wanted to tell them in a way which entertains them also. It's wrapped in an action never seen before, but it's a story of real people, a common man, and I think the blend of all these things put together is what Fateh is.
Could you give us a little more insight about the real life incidents that inspired the film?
Like those instant loan apps, when people, all these small villagers, they get the instant loan apps, how their family pictures are morphed, they're cheated, their family groups are made, those morphed pictures are sent into those family groups, they abuse you on that, and they try to blackmail you. So I've come across many cases like that. So that's the first point to start the film, and how a character in the film gets cheated, and he commits suicide, and how the world changes.
There are very few more poignant issues than that, because it's perhaps also an issue that is not spoken about as much as some of the others. But yes, as you mentioned, the scale of this issue is immense.
Yeah. Yeah, they are always a step ahead. Our film addresses not only those fake loan apps, but also the deep fakes and everything. No matter you put a roadblock, they'll find a bypass to do it their way. So yes, we are living in a world which is technology. This is all about technology, and every single day they invent something to create a roadblock for the people. And I think that's what the world we are living in. So we have to be more aware, more informed to take care of our lives.
Okay. Now, I don't mean for this next question to be as an attempt to just get a quote from you, because very honestly, so now you've influenced the lives of literally crores of people, but perhaps the biggest instrument through which you can do that is through politics. And at one point, it seemed like you were at least contemplating a move in that direction. Is that at all still an interest of yours? Is that something you actually think you see yourself in?
No, I was never inclined, but only thing is, when you become a little popular in the space of giving back to the society, people relate. Okay, man, this is doing. Maybe he wants to get into politics. I was offered the best of positions in the state, uh, from CMs to deputy CMs to Rajya Sabhas and all. This is not something which, I don't know. Maybe it'll happen year after. I don't know it'll happen when. But now I think still there's a lot of actor in me, a lot of director in me. I want to do that. I can still give back to the society. Sometimes you want to get into politics to, for the power, for the money, for to give back to the society. But my agenda is to give back to society, which I can do being an actor also. And acting and direction is something that I'm very passionate about. I love that, and I want to live for some more years in this world.
Absolutely, because even if you don't look at it cynically as a means to power, it is undeniably a means to influence more people than anyone else can.
Of course, I think if you are in the space, you can reach out to more people. You can do better. I totally agree with that. And but like I said, sometimes if you get into the space, there are chances that you won't be able to do the things your way. So I think I'll take my time to create the word. But like I said, now the idea is to achieve Fateh in the world of entertainment, in the world of direction, in the world of acting.
What more do we have in store from you in terms of direction? Is this something
Of
you
course,
have in
my studios are asking me to start the next one, the part two of this. I don't know, but now the hands are full, making Fateh reach out to many more people, and hopefully, Fateh ki Fateh zarur hogi, and we'll start the next one soon.
Absolutely, sir. Sonu, sir, absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Those are my
And again, if I can only say this, actors can be good actors, great actors can leave behind legacies, but what you have achieved in your career and in your life, I don't think anyone in contemporary India or perhaps outside has done that. So, absolute pleasure, sir.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.